Red Bull KTM rider Ryan Dungey comes to round 11 with an opportunity to clinch his third 450 motocross title in the past 6 seasons.
That much closer to a title, a big Moto win for Dungey in Moto 1. He's going to win both Motos and the overall at the Red Bull Unadilla National.
His KTM 250 teammate Marvin Musquin has closed the title gap on Yamaha's Jeremy Martin, with only 2 rounds remaining in the 2015 title fight.
Marvin Musquin, on a day where pretty much anything that could have happened did happen, comes out on top in the second moto, makes up ground in the series.
Championships are on the line as Lucas Oil Pro Motocross rolls into Utah.
Not far from the Great Salt Lake and the Bonneville Salt Flats. Speed of a different kind today. It's the next to last round of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing and the Zions Bank Utah National. Hello everyone, Jason Wygant, joined by multi-time motocross and supercross champion Grant Langston. Here in Utah, a unique racetrack and a unique championship situation. We'll give you the big picture storylines we'll be following today here on MAV TV. First, Ryan Dungey has a great chance to wrap up the 450 championship. As long as he bars some sort of disaster and Justin Barcia doesn't have a great day, Dungey will probably hold the #1 plate when today's racing is over. Different story in the 250 division. Almost a dead heat. 2 points separate Jeremy Martin and Marvin Musquin, and they've had their troubles the last 3 races. Neither have actually won the overall, so we've seen spoilers play a role in that class also. Now in qualifying practice, Dungey and Martin helped their cause, both nailing the Bud Light Fast Qualifier Award. Dungey snuck it in there on the last lap of the final practice session. Martin's story a lot different. He dominated both practice sessions and had the fastest lap times by a sizable margin. He also swept both motos here last year. So Grant, let's talk about it. It's a championship scenario in both classes, but a different scenario in both classes as well.
Oh, absolutely. In the 450 class, Ryan Dungey, he's been there before. He's been in championship battles. He knows how to handle it. And not to mention, he's got a comfortable, sizable lead. It would take something catastrophic for him to lose this one. On the other hand, in the 250s, it is so tight, and we've seen it. These two guys have not been the dominant 2 riders of late. Either of them have not won in 4 races, so we've seen some spoilers. Makes things really interesting. It's going to be super tight.
Oh man, that's going to be good. Let's get down to the starting line. Our 250 Moto 1 is ready to go. Here's Georgia Lindsay at the GoPro starting gate.
It is a huge day for Jeremy Martin and of course Marvin Musquin. Now this track, it is very difficult, it's very technical, but it's a huge day for you, and especially in this first moto.
Yeah, it is an important day. I mean, even the first round of the season was really important. So it's a long season, but we're coming to the end, and but still 100 points, you know, to give. So 2 more rounds. So obviously this round is important, but Indiana next week too. So it's a really technical track. There's a lot of ruts and stuff. So I like that track. So I'm ready for today.
Best of luck, Marvin. Good luck. The other side, we've got Jeremy Martin now. Championship is incredibly close, but like Marvin just said, we have 2 more rounds. This track is technical, but you're feeling pretty calm and confident.
Yeah, you know, I feel good. Maybe last year I would have been a little nervous, but this year I'm ready. You know, I expected, you know, after Glen Helen I had that little deal there, and I honestly didn't even expect to be in the points lead until the end of the season. And you know, I expected that it would come down the last moto between Marvin and I, and that's what's gonna happen. So I'm looking forward to a good day today, and hopefully get overall. It's been a little while.
Well, best of luck, Jeremy. It's going to be an exciting 250 class this weekend.
Back here at Utah and Miller Motorsports Park, less than 5 minutes before we start our first race of the day, the 250 class, Moto #1, ready to roll off. Here's your rules of the motocross road. We'll have the 250 class coming up now. The next hour, our 450 division. And then they'll each race one more time. We'll have that coverage tonight on NBCSN, or you can watch it all at ProMotocross.com. In both classes, we total up both motos to determine an overall winner for the day. So that's how we go racing in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. And here's the race on Kawasaki track map.
Yeah, they've made some changes since last year. Riders seem to like it. This uphill start, not as dramatic as last year, but a double quarter kind of first turn. It does a 90 with another 90 over the motorsport.com jump. We hopefully get the whole shot. that is your Lucas Oil finish line. Little high speed, lots of ruts. We saw them throwing down some water earlier today just with the heat they have up here. Seen a lot of mistakes in practice. Plus, with the track changes, the guys haven't had a ton of track time. Probably about a dozen laps between, practice this morning over the Bud Light step up, then through the back part of the track. Some faster sweepers. Line selection will be crucial. A lot of rollers on this track, a lot of man-made jumps. So it's got a bit of a Supercross feel, but it also has a nice flow this year. It looks like a fun track over the Red Bull triple step up. We saw guys battling to get all the way over that in practice. Let's see how they do in the race. This section, 5 jumps. You have an option 2-3 or 3-2. Now starting to head back. You can see the road race track off to the right. This track built inside the Miller Motorsport racetrack. And through some more of these rollers, right-hand sweeper, a little bit technical because you've got your feet on the pegs. Try not to make mistakes. Another little double out of this turn. Triple up to the top here, jump back down. Turn, you got to get a good drive, carry momentum all the way over this big roller, and that's a lap here at Miller Motorsports.
Yeah, a little bit slower and more 180 turns, they said was the goal here this year, and maybe open up some passing. We'll show you the weather. It's hot, but it seemed like we would have been worse. The forecast was that we'd be really high up, but only 88 degrees. Turned out not so bad, and not nearly the humidity we've had at some of the other events this year. Here's a GoPro track preview from earlier. We had the GoPro on Mitchell Oldenburg on the Lucas. That's not Mitchell Oldenburg. It's a blue fender there. All right, it's Oldenburg. It's whoever it is. I see a blue fender. I'm going to guess that's Alex Martin. Bottom line, it's a GoPro, and this is what it looks like in practice.
Yeah, you see that split lane section there. You can go to the inside or the outside. You see Ryder having to roll off the throttle there. This was that big jump at the back that we were talking about, guys battling it all the way over. See Martin choosing to use a little more of the outside lines early in the day. You can see the ruts developing, and the track's going to look quite a bit different by the time these guys go out. Oh,
wow.
See,
we saw a lot of that in practice when they threw the water down.
Yeah, a lot of guys dancing around on this track. You can see the suspension working really hard.
So this is how close the championship battle has been this year. Not only are the points only 2 of them separating Martin and Musquin, but look at every other statistical category. They're basically within 1 or tied in nearly every area. Musquin has a slight lead on laps led, but that's 1 moto's
irrelevant.
worth. It's
not even.
Yeah, small gap. Yeah,
half a moto.
Basically, any way you slice it, these two have been close. And we have not seen them battle against each other much. Maybe 3 times this year they've been close. We really haven't seen them start 1-2 and prove who's the faster guy.
Well, we keep saying it. It's going to happen, but first, before it happens, our KTM keys to the moto. Get a good start, especially for these title contenders. You cannot be lagging at the back of the pack. We're racing at altitude. They've had to make adjustments physically and to the machines. Have these guys done the right thing? And of course, the new configuration, the track has changed. Limited track time for these guys. These guys are going to have to adjust very quickly because the gate's about to drop. And
as we mentioned at the top of the show, Martin did dominate here last year, but they have changed the track quite a bit. Some of the big hills they brought in, they've actually lowered some of them, and they've worked more on the turns, put some more 180s, and that could potentially open up the chance to make some passes if you don't get a good start. And kind of interesting that Martin is with the fastest qualifying time. He was your Bud Light fast qualifier, picking the extreme inside gate, which is not typical in motocross.
And not to mention Cooper Webb lined up right next to Marvin Musquin. Let's see how this works out.
Good job by Nicole to run off here. It's a big wide start stretch, and we are underway.
As that Sabachi, I saw a green fender get there, but around the outside.
Well, it's actually one of the Geico Honda riders,
and
Jordan Smith. Yeah, and a rider down. So Smith has your Motorsport.com Whole Shot Award.
It looked like 3 guys had it at one point, but there was a big pileup. I haven't seen our title contenders yet. Did anyone get caught up in that? That was right coming up to that first jump. You just saw carnage. Not sure how many guys went down.
Smith leads. He's got 2 Lucas Oil Troy Lee KTM riders right behind. Oh, and the third one, Oldenburg, is down. So a good start for most of the team, but not for Oldenburg. Meanwhile, you have Nelson and McElrath second and third. And Jeremy Martin, we heard, is down in that first turn. So Martin in trouble already.
Oh, that's going to make things very, very interesting because we still haven't seen Musquin. There he is, probably hovering around that 10th spot right now. And we'll obviously have to wait for timing and scoring at the end of the lap to see just how bad it was. We were sitting here waiting for the big number 1 with the red background. Oh, where is it? This has got to be painful for the team. For him, there he is. Wow. There is the number 1 buried in the pack. I don't know, Jason. I'm going to say somewhere around 30th, if not even worse. But we see riders crashing everywhere.
Whoa, and he's also taking on some roost. You see, he's having to pull the tear off. So in some ways, it's good the riders in front of him making mistakes, but in other ways, it's bad because he can get tangled up in that.
You see him getting around Garrett Stank. You can hear that 2-stroke out there.
Yeah.
So Jeremy really picking through some of the mid-pack riders really quick, not following, going wherever they're not going. But with this heat up here, even though it's 88, it's warm. And at altitude, sometimes I think because you're a little closer to the sun, it actually, the sun is more brutal.
Looks like Nelson has taken the lead away from Jordan Smith. There is Muscan, who's around 10th right now, battling actually with Alex Martin, Jeremy's brother. And look at how many riders. Cooper Webb, by the way, a bad start. He's coming through. You see the green and blue gear on the blue bike. So he's about 15th.
And there's the one.
Wow.
Covered in mud already.
So Martin, we're going to get the transponder feed here in just a second and tell you exactly where he is.
25th, it's saying
25th.
right now.
He was 30th about 5 corners ago.
Yeah.
Now, early in the race, you can make that kind of ground because the field is pretty close. But it's not like Muscan had a great start either. He is 7th at the moment. Started 11th, up to 7th. So Martin, if he can put in a real sprint, might be able to make up some ground. And he was your Bud Light fast qualifier, and by a tremendous distance in both sessions. He was the only 250 rider into the 155, so that 155.9. So well done for him there, but he's going to need all that speed right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to show us all that pace that he's showing us here, what he had last year, winning both motos, and then in qualifying both sessions, first and second session this morning. It seemed like he was almost head and shoulders above everyone else.
2 seconds quicker than Christian Craig, who was second quickest. Hey, by the way, we haven't seen this in a while. Remember Jesse Nelson at the beginning of the year?
We saw him a lot.
Was, getting great starts.
Podium
leading
guy.
laps, podium guy.
Oh!
Good job hanging on to that thing. Jordan Smith still right behind him. Smith had that motosport.com hole shot. But Nelson had a bit of a mid-season slump. The team manager, Tyler Keefe, told me he had a bit of an illness. He's come back around, obviously now is 6th at our last race. And now, well, the door's open for one of these guys to win it with our title contenders. And also Cooper Webb, who's won a few rounds way back at the moment.
And I'm just wondering right now, where is Jordan Smith? He was leading.
Oh, no, you're right.
Second.
That's Hampshire.
That's Hampshire. So Smith has, well, either lost a lot of ground or gone down out of camera. So, oh, Nelson makes a little mistake there.
Hampshire going to try to take over the lead. Now, Hampshire was battling for the number 1 spot last week at Unadilla as well until he crashed. He's carrying that momentum right here to Utah and takes it away from Nelson on the Geico Honda.
Wow, that was a power move there. Just hard on the throttle through that section, through those little sweepers where they go back and forth. Nelson doesn't want to give up just yet. He's going to take the longer way around, but carries more speed, and wow.
Nice.
These guys just going for it early in this moto.
And there's that little G out of pocket you were talking about in practice earlier, a big hard hit. As they go past the Fran Mechanics area. Now, Hampshire turned pro about a year ago at this time. Unadilla last week, and this track, this is the first time he's gotten to a track that he raced previously. Definitely made a difference a week ago, and he's got a lot of speed again.
I think that also helps sometimes with these guys just on the mental side. Just knowing they've been there, they know kind of what the track is. And a lot of times, just having knowledge at the track.
Nelson never made it out of that corner. Oh, no, he did. Sorry.
Yeah, he just went real wide.
Yeah.
But you know, you come here and you've got some history, you've got some notes from what happened last year, where your strengths and weaknesses were, maybe some change you want to do with the bike. All those little things help a guy. If nothing else, he just comes here feeling like, I know what I'm dealing with, I know what to expect when I get up there.
All right, we have the motosport.com hole shot replay. Jordan Smith gets the start, but also Jeremy Martin is down, and we can see what happened to the champ. He's on the inside there in that blue number 1.
Well, if you keep your eyes on him, maybe we can follow it. He doesn't get the jump, so now he's buried. And we still said that was a bit of a risk going to that inside, because this is what happens. Now he gets bottled in, and then if you watch the inside of the exit right before this jump, you'll see someone goes down there. That might have been he clipped someone, and then you see a few guys going down. I think Martin just literally had nowhere to go. There's a big pile up in front of him.
Stopped. Yeah, I don't believe he crashed.
This angle should show.
Savachi.
Sorry, there's Savachi, and then someone clips him. Oh, Oldenburg. And then watch Martin. There's Webb gets stuck. Hill's there, and then look, Martin has nowhere to go. He doesn't go down, but
the number 1 there he is,
just stranded,
and then gets punted as Savachi's getting back on the bike. Oldenburg, by the way, pulled out of this race. He rode off out of the mechanics area. There is Smith getting the hole shot.
Basically, Savachi the rear end slid around, and Oldenburg just clipped it, and that's what started that chain reaction.
So it cost both of the Yamaloop Star Racing Yamaha teammates. Webb got caught and Martin got caught even worse. So they're pretty far back. Musquin 6th at the moment. There's Jordan Smith battling with Musquin. So Smith, who had that whole shot, made an error, went back to 5th. He's got Musquin in the number 25 right behind him. So, okay, if your Musquin 6th is not great, but it's a whole lot better than everyone else you got to worry about.
Well, I'm not even sure if he's aware if Martin is ahead of him, behind him.
True.
Because he's probably trying to look down the track and figure out. But if his mechanic knows, he might have said to him, hey, Martin buried in the pack. So that way Marvin doesn't panic and think, oh, I've got to get to the lead because maybe number 1's checking out.
And Cooper Webb has gotten into that group as well. I'll just set it for you. Plessinger 5th, Musquin 6th, Bisceglia 7th, Webb and Martin all in a group right there. About 5 riders. So a good opportunity for Musquin to make up ground, and now Christian Craig getting in on this battle as well. He's at the back, and we said how close this is. Smith, he's on the red, and the orange with the blue gear is Musquin, and Musquin almost gets shoved off the track. Plessinger's down there on his inside. This is incredible racing.
Well, Plessinger right now is probably Jeremy Martin's best friend on the track right now. As being Yamaha teammates, you know, Plessinger's not going to open the door, make it easy for the 25. He keeps fighting for the spot. They're going back and forth.
Smith, Musquin, Plessinger, McElrath. I can't keep up. They keep changing the order. As Musquin now tries to make the move on Smith. Georgia, what do you have on Plessinger?
Yes, as I was waiting at the GoPro starting gate, I noticed that Plessinger came and spoke to Jeremy Martin. Now, it's kind of a secret talk. You never really know what was happening, but they were definitely having a conversation and looking up the start straight. So you never know when these situations happen. There's a championship on the line. Anything is possible.
Well, he tried to hold Musquin back, Georgia, but Musquin got around him, and now power move, as you would like to say, Grant, to get around Smith. He was hanging over the back fender. Smith going to try to come back, but this should put Musquin into 5th.
Well, yeah, Marvin is making some good progress here early in the race. Getting through these guys pretty quick. They're not giving it to him. He's fighting for every position, but he's been pretty methodical, and he's been aggressive, but not overly aggressive as Musquin.
Man, so much on the line today. Red Bull KTM team certainly busy. They're trying to lock down 2 titles this year. Musquin fighting for the 250s. There's Carlos Rivera and the team getting to work on Ryan Dungey's bike. In an hour, Dungey has a chance to wrap up the 2015 title in the 450 class, so stay with us. The winner next week at our finale in Indiana. You can win a 2016 KX 450F that you saw there. It's an all-new bike. Or 2016 KX 250F. Back to the racing. RJ Hampshire, the rookie, trying to win his first career moto, but he's about to have company. Marvin Musquin, who is in the thick of this championship fight, second in the points coming into this race, I believe has moved up to 2nd around Jesse Nelson. Musquin started 11th, needed to move forward. That's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, this is just a great performance from Musquin at the moment, just cutting through the pack, and look at some of the distance he's put on these guys. But also another comeback for great comeback for Cooper Webb, who also didn't have a great start. And bear in mind, on the start line, I noticed, and you know, don't want to speculate too much, but I saw Cooper Webb line up right next to Musquin, so I figured, well, if that number 17 gets a jump, I could see him turning into the KTM rider, but it seemed like they were both kind of buried right out of the gate.
So Webb around Nelson as well. So Nelson, who was leading for a bit, pushed back to 4th. Hampshire leads, Musquin 2nd, and there is no love lost between Webb and Musquin. The obvious thing on the outside, since Webb is Martin's teammate, you'd think he'd try to help and beat Musquin. I don't think it's that. He has not been happy with the way Musquin has been racing in the last couple weeks. You see Nelson here with the big mistake in 4th, and I don't think Webb will hesitate to take a shot at Musquin if he can get to him, and that's really the key. Musquin's got about 3 seconds on him right now, so Webb's got some work to do.
Fastest man on the track last time by was Marvin Musquin, 156. A couple of the guys up front like Webb and Hampshire 57s. Everybody else in the 2-minute plus, except for down in the pack a little bit, 11th place, Jeremy Martin, 158. And another guy went down the first turn, Joey Savacci, back up in 12th right now behind Jeremy Martin.
Okay, so Plessinger comes through. He's on the blue bike, Yamaloop Star Racing Yamaha. He is 5th. Matt Bisceglia, through all this battling, has climbed through the traffic and is up to 6th. And his Geico Honda teammate, Christian Craig, should come through next in 7th. So good run by Bisceglia. There's Craig working down to the inside of that left-hand corner. And it should be Alex Martin in 8th. He is on the CycleTrader.com Rock River Yamaha.
Soon to be teammates with his brother.
That's right. Going to Star Racing in 2016. Been a good season for Amart.
He's earned it. He deserves that ride. I think he's had a good run. The Rock River Yamaha team's been great for him.
Here he is.
Great group of people. He's got some factory help from Yamaha, but at least now he'll be an official factory Yamaha rider next year.
Absolutely, and great performances this year. Won a moto in the mud at Budds Creek and nearly won the overall that day. Just got edged out by Muscan. Now you have McElrath. He's on the orange Lucas Oil Troy Lee KTM, and behind him you have Osborne. First time we've seen him, the number 16 Rockstar Husky, 10th, and we're still waiting on our point leader, Jeremy Martin. He should be next in line, but that's only 11th place. That's not what he needs. Now, Muscan's teammate, by the way, Justin Hill, has crashed out of this race, so no help for Muscan as far as teammates are concerned.
I think he came together with Oldenburg again.
And as they run, look at this. He would be 10 points behind Muscan. If you look at the graphic at the top of the screen, Muscan would gain 12 points on Martin in this moto. So it would be a 10-point lead for Muscan if it were to end like this. It's a big if. We know in the second half of these races, that is where Martin really does damage. And he has Osborne, McElrath, and his brother Alex not too far up ahead. But Muscan's in second. Could still go after Hampshire for the win.
I'm pretty sure, like we say every time, it's not going to stay this way.
Right.
Muscan's in a prime position to win this moto. And Jeremy Martin, you know, we're looking at the time.
Osborne going for the pass here. McElrath, and he's got it. So that's going to move Osborne to 9th. Osborne in a battle with Savacci, by the way, for 3rd in the championship. Savacci pretty far back. Here comes Martin trying to pass McElrath. And
did you see that? I mean, Martin looked back at one of the crew guys on the side. I'd love to know what that was all about. But this race has flown by so quick.
Yeah.
We're past 15 minutes in this moto. So, Jason, what does that mean?
Well, you've got time to call Geico and save 15% or more on your insurance. And if you're Jeremy Martin, you need all the help you can get. You need everybody on your side. You've got to get around these two. He has a line now to try to get McElrath. Needs to get Osborne. Got McElrath down to the inside. Champ starting to come to life in the second half of this race, as he is wont to do throughout the season. So now he's into the top 10, but Muscan, who's battling for the championship, is second. And through it all, RJ Hampshire trying to win his first ever moto. Brian Dungey trying to win a 450 title up next. Things are changing in a hurry here. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. The right side of your screen, that's 2 lap riders in the blue gear. 25, Marvin Muscan, your leader. But here comes Cooper Webb in the blue and yellow. He is second place. They both got around RJ Hampshire in the last lap as they've really stepped up the pace. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, no love lost between Muscan and Webb. Actually, I don't think Muscan has any problems with the 17, but last 2 races, Webb has been very upset about the way Muscan has been riding and trying to hold him back. So they're going to battle it out again. And in the background, literally, Jeremy Martin is back in 9th place. That's the rider that Muscan, your race leader, is battling for in the championship. Martin's teammate is Webb. But I don't think this is a teammate thing for Webb trying to get Muscan. This is personal.
Oh, and believe me, it helps big time from the Yamaha camp, because if Webb gets around Marvin, that's a big help as far as the points. 3 valuable points he would take away from Muscan, and that, you know, at the end of the moto, let's say Muscan ends up second and Martin gets back to 5th. All of a sudden, it's only a couple points going into the second moto. So look at this. Whoa, Webb! Webb was committed going up to that, got airborne over that corner jump, couldn't quite stick the line, ran a little bit wide. But it looks to me, Jason, like it's just a matter of time. He just looks a little more, like he's got a little more pace and a little more aggression at the moment, and he's skying the jumps too.
Second half of this race, Webb went to the next level, started doing 155 lap times, and no one has done that. So he's the fastest rider on the track. Can he find a way around Muscan? Muscan has been riding, well, either defensively or dirty, depending on how you look at it. Webb certainly hasn't been happy with Musquin, so that's something to think about as well. A bit of a personality conflict. The team struggle as far as them fighting each other for the championship. But you got to give credit to Musquin. Last week, he had Webb draped all over him, and he didn't let the Yamaha rider get to him. And he's doing the same thing now.
I think
he has to win this moto.
I think that just helps light the fire for Marvin, because he knows if Webb gets half a chance, he will go in for an aggressive move. We saw it at Unadilla at the bottom of the hill. Webb went up the inside. Didn't look like there was much room to make an attempt. You could have argued there was, borderline, a bit of a cheap shot, but that's just what happens at this level. This is not elementary school. Two wrongs do make a right motocross. If someone hits you, you hit them back harder, and you remind them and let them know, touch me again, I'll hit you harder the next time. And I think what's happened is, in one way, it's helping Musquin a little bit because Webb's in his head, but where Marvin is so good and talented is he's got that, I need a run. I got to give it everything I've got and try and get away from this guy. So I think it's bringing the best out of both of these riders.
Absolutely. I mean, Musquin has responded to the challenge. Webb caught him from about 2 seconds back, has been all over him. But Musquin has not flinched at all. Hampshire still third. Nelson Plessinger and Bisceglia. That's 4th, 5th, 6th. Oh, Webb was getting close. Hey, Bell.
If he didn't run out of room there, I thought he might have done an aggressive move up the inside.
And he switches from outside to inside, past the Fran Mechanics area. Lines cross again. Totally different sides of the track than they were 2 laps ago when they were side by side, left to right. Now they're side by side, right to left. Here comes Webb. Oh, and Musquin cuts across. And again, riding that fine line. I don't think there's anything dirty about that.
There was nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
That jump lends, when it jumps through the corner, everyone knows you're going to go. Wow, Webb skies it. Split lane. How's this going to work? Webb might have him this time. He's not
but he makes a mistake and dumps it. He's going to keep the bike running, but he lost a ton of time. Can't get back on the bike.
Hey,
Hampshire just went by for second.
Didn't he do that last year on that exact same corner? For some reason, I feel like I just had deja vu.
Right. Well, sometimes you do that. Well,
it was like almost a carbon copy. I'm pretty sure of it. We'll have to go and look.
Well done by Musquin to hold up under that pressure for about 3 laps of just relentless pass attempts by Webb, because now the mistake by Webb has allowed Musquin to get away, and that is huge. It's a split lane. Could tell the story as Musquin tries to get away. Webb needed to get out of this corner quick. He caught his foot there, and that made all the difference. Musquin out front. Taking on the toughest projects with cutting-edge technology. Titan and his team fight for America and show the world what it takes to be American-built. Monday, 9 Eastern and Pacific on MAV TV. Well, a very busy day under the Red Bull KTM tent. Ryan Dungey trying to lock down the 450 title, and Marvin Musquin trying to take steps toward the 250 title. Jeremy Martin, you're watching here, your points leader going into the Moto, probably going to lose that. He got around Matt Bisceglia while we're at break. That moves him to 6th place. Scored 15 points for a 6th place finish. Musquin up front is going to score 25, so potential 10-point swing in this race. And Martin had a 2-point lead going in, so it could be 8 points to Musquin's advantage if it ends like this. Martin's next rider, well, good news for him, would be his teammate, Aaron Plessinger, who is about 4 seconds ahead. So we'll see, start to theorize late in the season, how will team tactics play out? Are they going to tell Plessinger, your teammate, your points leader, is behind you?
Let's have a look at this moment. It was right here when we went to break. Watch Martin. He's trying to battle with Bisceglia. Watch his head shake come up. Oh, wow. Going into that, I mean, that could have gone. If he had swapped out there, he would have literally lawn darted into the face of that jump, and that could have been like his season done right there.
Yeah.
So, luckily for all of us, he stayed on 2 wheels. Maybe just made him tighten up a little bit in that part there. But these guys they're professionals, they dust it off. All he knows is, oh man, just don't do that again. Either different line or, figure out what the bump was and was doing it. So they learn from it, and
he's not riding scared at
exactly,
this point, right?
Exactly. The day these guys ride scared is the day they retire.
So we'll see how the team plays it with Plessinger up ahead. That's the Yamaha Star Racing Yamaha teammate, another teammate of Martin. And that is a huge difference Justin Hill, the Red Bull KTM teammate of Muscan, very strong on the podium in our second race of the year at Glen Helen. Then a big injury in practice at our next race, and he's been back at the races, but hasn't been nearly as effective as he was before the crash. So Muscan has not had much help, and we're wondering late in the season if Martin having riders like Plessinger, who doesn't want to give up a spot, but let's be honest, it's 5th or 6th in a moto. For Plessinger, it doesn't mean that much. For Martin, that 1 point would be huge. And then we know what Cooper Webb is capable of. Plessinger not too far behind Nelson, and neither is Martin. Martin's got a shot to get to 4th here. Now this is going to be interesting. You see the countdown clock.
That is great damage control.
Yeah.
If he can get back to 4th. He's probably going to be bummed to find out that Webb had a shot, dumped it. Because that would have helped him out, because the difference between 2nd and 4th is 4 points. So it would have been a 2-point lead for Muscan. At the moment, it's a little bit bigger. So every point counts.
Now watching this clock, I don't think they're going to make it around. So it's going to be 2 laps to go.
It depends how far the leaders are ahead of these guys, because we're almost where they're at right now. They're just under 2 minutes away,
and they're 30 seconds behind the leader. And in the 2-lap board comes out based on the leader. If he gets there, Muscan, before the clock expires, will have 3 to go. If the clock expires and then he goes across the line, it will be 2 to go. It looks like Martin has caught Plessinger. There might not even have to be team orders. He's just going faster at the moment.
One man hoping that clock does not expire. He wants every lap.
Yes.
That's number 1. You see Plessinger.
Yeah, not much resistance.
Pretty nicely done. I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. He let him by.
Okay. Like we said, it's the difference 5th and 6th for Plessinger. That's not a game changer. But for Martin, that 1 extra point that he just gained making that pass is huge.
If Plessinger would like to continue his factory ride at Yamaha, it might be in his best interest to move over.
do as they say.
Yep.
Webb has gotten back around Hampshire. He is in 2nd, but he's 7 seconds behind Muscan. That 1 crash at tip over cost him any shot at winning this one unless Muscan makes a huge mistake. We watch Martin here trying to get Nelson. Nelson's up ahead in the yellow and black gear, 28. That will be for 4th.
And 2 more crucial points at this late stage. It really is so important. It doesn't matter whether he's fighting for 5th or 4th or 3rd. He's got to get everything he can out of it. There's nothing worse as a racer to go and look back. Hey, what happened in that first turn? You could be disappointed and say, I should have had a better start. Well, that's pretty obvious. But it didn't, you know. But if he looks back and goes, I left 4 points on the table because I didn't charge, or I was, you know, too busy whining in my head and didn't put my head down and go for the points. You know, there's nothing worse as a racer to feel like he left points on the table. I think if he can get Nelson, he's going to leave this and go, man, I did damage control, I did everything I could. It wasn't a great moto. You know he's going to be fired up, so it wouldn't surprise me to come and see him win the 2nd moto and make this championship even that much more exciting going into the final round.
It's kind of the way it's gone all year. One of the riders, Martin or Muscan, has a bad moto. They bounce back with a good 2nd moto, and the other rider has the misfortune. I want to go back to his starting gate selection. He had the first pick, Martin did. He selected the inside. The start's totally different this year. So they didn't really know how it was going to turn out, and it did not turn out well. He pinched himself in. Going after Nelson. It's going to be outside.
On a KTM, so he doesn't want to he wants to make this difficult. But to answer your question, observation there, Jason, I think Martin went with, if I go to the inside, there's only 1 person next to me, not 2.
Okay.
So I don't get boxed in if I get a bad jump. Plus you go to the inside. It's usually a safety blanket, but he totally chumped that start real bad. So he was dead last. So he didn't even really have a chance to. Oh, Nelson. Well, their lines came together.
Your points as they run are top of the screen. He'd be down 7 to Muscan if the moto ends like this. But these are 2-point passes once you get into the top 5. So if he gets Nelson to move from 5th to 4th, he'll be 5 points behind Muscan heading into our 2nd moto of the day with 3 motos left on the year.
5 to 7 is actually a huge difference because going to the last race, if it was a 5-point gap, Martin goes, I have to go 1-1 and it's guaranteed I win the title. When it's 7 points, he has to go 1-1.
Oh, Nelson! Nelson high-sides, bike goes flying. Oh, Martin almost ran into him.
Thank goodness
he got
up.
violent for the bike than the rider, luckily.
That front end's twisted. Whew. He can't even, I bet you'll battle to go in a straight line. Yeah, I think that was a little more spectacular. Look, really spectacular. But fortunately, I think it was the bike that took the brunt of it.
Oh, look at the handlebars. And
that's what I said. It's so twisted.
Yeah. And all right, take us through this, Grant. What happened to Nelson?
I was looking at you when I talked. Oh yeah, braking bump. He was done right there. And then, oh man, look at how that bike compressed in that rut and just ricocheted. And Martin once again dodging a bullet. I mean, how many, that bike could have flown up and basically taken him out in the, in the face or the body or something and potentially injured him. So I always say racing, it's a tough sport. It's tough to stay even healthy for 24 straight motos. It's been great to have these two guys who we knew were championship favorites coming in be strong all year long. That's why we've had such an exciting title run. And Musquin doing everything he needs to do. Winning the Moto, that's the way you score max points. And he can take the points lead back. Martin, I don't think, has a shot to move up to third. He's 10 seconds behind Hampshire with a lap and a half to go. And he's going about a second quicker. Musquin looking over, probably worried, where's Cooper Webb? But he's actually pulled away a bit from Webb. When Webb got going again, he was 7 seconds behind Musquin. Now it's 9.5. So like you said, what could have been the Star Racing team, they wish Webb would have been able to get Musquin. But again, I got to credit the Frenchman. Webb was going faster. Webb caught him. Webb had several pass attempts. And Musquin just didn't succumb to the pressure, and it paid off. Well, Marvin never let Cooper Webb rattle him. He didn't make really any mistakes, and when he heard Webb out of the out of his peripherals, he just took the line away. And I know you were talking about it earlier about Webb saying he wasn't happy about some of the stuff, but as a racer sometimes you don't like I said, there's his story, the other guy's story, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth. Yes. So I don't consider Marvin a dirty rider. I do believe that at times when someone's taking your line away and moving in front of you, it does get frustrating. You have a tendency to want to yell at the guy, but it's more out of frustration, not purely because hey, he was riding out of line. And Musquin's been honest. He said, hey, I'm trying to win a championship. I gotta defend every position I have. This could be one of those deals where 6 months from now it's all water under the bridge between these two, but the heat is on. Oof. And these guys sometimes get a little emotional about it. Little emotional? All right, well. It's a very emotional sport. Yes, and it's going to get worse because we're going to be down to just 3 motos to go at the end of this one. Marvin Musquin looking for the Moto win. That's a clutch performance. He started 11th in this one. That's not easy to do. He cut through the pack very methodically, looked very in control. Little swing around from what we saw in qualifying. It looked like this was Jeremy Martin's day. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, that's why they line up. You just never know. And Musquin on a parade lap right now. He's just making sure no one's coming in a hurry because he knows Webb will charge as hard as he can till the end. It'll be Musquin's 10th Moto win, and this is the 20th Moto of the year. He has won half of the Motos. Martin has won 8. So great season for him, and remember, he already won the Monster Energy Supercross title in the East. The West champion was Webb, and everyone anticipated a battle between them outdoors. Webb not going to be able to make it happen. Martin not going to make it happen. It's Musquin winning this Moto, and that is clutch. He will retake the points lead in the 250 class. Cascade Springs, not far from us here at Miller Motorsports Park. You can actually see natural spring water bubbling up from the surface and also water cascading down the mountain slope in a series of terraces and pools. So check that out if you want to come to Miller Motorsports Park and also watch some racing. Here's your Lucas Oil race recap of 250 Moto 1. Jeremy Martin gets caught up. You'll see him on the left side of your screen. Your championship leader on the number 1. Joey Savacci goes down. That ignites a pile up. And Martin is slowed drastically. He was about 30th on the first lap. And he'd be in comeback mode for the rest of this one. Marvin Musquin, the other rider battling for the title, he had to go from 11th. So he was in a comeback situation as well. Here he passes RJ Hampshire for the lead. But watch the 17 of Cooper Webb trying to follow him through. Webb wants to steal the Moto win away from Musquin and help his teammate. Martin gain some points. But Webb makes one mistake here, and it was costly. Got the bike buried in this soft dirt in the inside. And that would allow Musquin to get away and go on, take the Moto win. Here's Martin trying to do work. He got him in the top 10. Then he's moving up into the top 5. Big crash for Jesse Nelson, who luckily got up okay to finish 11th. That would put Martin into 4th. Final turn, Musquin's going to win the Moto, and that will be enough to give him the points lead. He was down 2 by Martin coming into this one. So let's send it to Georgia with our race winner.
Marvin Muscan, congratulations. You really, I'm sure, feel happy with that win. Your 10th Moto win of the season so far. 3 points leading the championship. Going into Moto 2, track conditions are tough out there.
Yeah, it is really tough. I mean, that track is so special that it's a weird dirt. So it gets really soft and then really hard. So it's really inconsistent. So it's gnarly out there. So you got to be on your game, like on point. And my bike is running pretty good. That was a weird start and the real race actually. I mean, the first turn, people went down in front of me and I tried to be really smart and not crash and I saw a bunch of guys in front of me. So I did a pretty good race. I know the guys behind me are really fast today, so it's good to get those 25 points right away today and try to do the same as second moto. I know it's going to be tough.
Congratulations, well done. Calm and consistent from Marvin Muscan with now a 3-point lead ahead of Jeremy Martin.
Yes, Georgia, a 3-point lead because you could not believe what happened. This is the last turn of the race. That's Martin who's running fourth, and then watch the right side of the screen. Third place, RJ Hampshire crashes about, 30 feet from the finish line? Maybe 50 feet, and there goes Martin by to inherit third and gain 2 points. An absolute gift for the champion.
And heartbreak for Hampshire. Man, that's a tough one.
But had his first podium finish in a moto. Let's send it back to Georgia with Cooper Webb.
Cooper Webb, congratulations. Second place in that moto. You were really putting the pressure on Marvin there. For you, are you trying to be a teammate, or do you just want to go out and win motos?
I'm teammates with Jeremy, luckily for me. And, obviously I can help him every time I want, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to win. And, I was just going for it. We both fell down the first turn, and we're second and third, and I caught Marvin from pretty far back, so I was pretty stoked with that. He was riding good. Once I got on him, he definitely picked it up and did his typical stuff. But it is what it is, and I was just pushing that rut and pretty soft out there, and it blew out, and I crashed. Kind of got my leg caught underneath, and just trying to get up as fast as I could, but just kind of ran out of some time. But it's good. Second moto, I think we'll come in strong and confident, a little better gate pick, and I feel really good today, and I think if I get a good start, we'll be where we belong.
Congratulations, second place for Cooper Webb there.
Yeah, and as far as the race win goes, as I always say in motocross, a second in the first moto is as good as a first. Webb comes back and wins Moto 2. He'll win the overall. Tonight, 11 Eastern, we'll have that second 250 moto from right here at Utah. Let's send it back to Georgia.
Congratulations, Jeremy Martin. What a race from you. Crashing at the beginning, coming from way, way back, and then pulling up to third place towards the end. That must have been kind of nerve-wracking for you, knowing the championship's on the line.
It wasn't fun to be able to get a bad start and then have to work my way forward. But me, I'm a fighter. I'll never give up, and I just kept pushing. And I just got to thank RJ Hampshire there. Unfortunately, he went down and he gave me a gift. I would have got fourth, but I got third. And I just can't thank the man up above, the whole Star Racing team, Yamaha, Dunlop, Yamalu, Rockstar, Answer Belt, 100%, Enzo KYB, my race mechanic Pedro, and Johnny O'Mara, and we'll be back for Moto 2.
Well, congratulations, well done, Jeremy Martin, with third there.
All right, thanks, Georgia. From one championship fight, we swing to another. Ryan Dungey and his crew, there's his wife, there's his trainer. They're getting ready. He could wrap up the 450 title in less than an hour. 450 Moto 1 coming up next.